Grand Theft Auto is a sensational experience that is hard to replicate. The series has churned out hit after hit, with the series truly exploding in popularity following the advent of Grand Theft Auto 3. There's a reason why these games are beloved by the masses, with every Grand Theft Auto title being wildly memorable in its way. Of course, some are objectively better than others, but only just. Kicking off, the worst game in the series is GTA The Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. There's a good reason why this game is the worst, in my opinion. Fans were disappointed to the moon and back when the Definitive Edition launched. The game was a lazy effort to upscale the classic 3D games for the next generation and was lambasted by fans and critics alike. The titles were plagued with bugs, and the remaster looked comical and worse than the original games. Even with all the patches that have addressed the many issues in this title, it's clear as day that the legacy of this legendary trilogy has been permanently tarnished by this cheap cash grab. But up next, we have the game that started it all, Grand Theft Auto. This game had clunky controls, which made driving near impossible, but it had charm regardless. The ability to get into any car made Grand Theft Auto a hit, and set the bedrock for this franchise to dominate the gaming industry in a few years. To this day, it's hard to believe that this series became a reality because of a simple glitch that helped developers uncover a fun gameplay loop that had a ton of potential. So, although this is a game that I and many others wouldn't play today, it was the starting point for what GTA would evolve into. You can't hate it as much. But moving on. Next, we have GTA Advance. This is one of the lesser-known GTA games and follows a similar style to Grand Theft Auto and Grand Theft Auto 2. Contrasting with the first two Grand Theft Auto games, Grand Theft Auto Advance has vehicle-based missions and is easier to play than the original games. Given how difficult these classic GTA games were, this was a welcome change for fans. The smart gameplay, combined with vibrant graphics, keeps the game enjoyable. GTA Advance is an enjoyable top-down perspective game, and the only reason why it's ranked this low is because of its hardware limitations, as opposed to the quality of the title itself. Next, we have GTA 2. This game brought several improvements to police chases, weapons, driving, locations, and the camera. No longer was a shaky camera getting in the way of causing mayhem in Anywhere City, with the sequel being a massive improvement over the original in every way, shape, and form. Despite this, the game was far inferior to the later releases, which is why it's not among the best games in the series. But next to it, we have GTA Vice City Story. Vice City Stories is a prequel to GTA Vice City that was released for the PSP, PlayStation Portable, and later for the PlayStation 2. Due to its limited availability, relatively not many people got a chance to play Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories. It received favorable reviews on the PSP, but mediocre reviews for the PlayStation 2. Its negative reviews on the PlayStation 2 can be attributed to its upscaling, which didn't turn out well. Also, multiplayer modes were removed, which makes the PSP version stronger. Next, we have GTA Liberty City Story. After the massive success of the 3D Grand Theft Auto titles, Rockstar decided to add to the universe of these games by releasing prequels to both Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City. The former arrived first in the form of Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories, and is one of the better and more notable games on the PSP. Next, we have GTA Chinatown WARS. This is the most exceptional Grand Theft Auto spin-off game, released for Android, Nintendo DS, PSP, iOS, and Fire OS. The gameplay of Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars becomes more enjoyable as players dive into it. The change in perspective takes a while to get used to, but fans who love the GTA gameplay loop will get familiar with Chinatown Wars in no time. But up next, we have GTA Vice CI.TI. This is one of the best games in the series. Players rise from rags to riches as Tommy Vercetti. Including an airport, marinas, and a taxicab company, Vice City captures the essence of Miami. The ability to purchase companies that generate money gave the game more replayability. There was plenty of content to keep players busy in Grand Theft Auto, Vice City making it one of the most iconic games. But even more iconic is GTA San Andreas. The game was inspired by the late 80s and early 90s gangsta rap era, which is when the game is set. Playing as protagonist Carl Johnson, players are immersed in a world rife with possibilities. The game has a progression system that allows players to upgrade their character after completing tasks like working out or riding a bike. The game also contains airports with flyable planes, and players are no longer forced to drown when they touch the water, since swimming underwater is possible in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Next we have GTA 3. Grand Theft Auto's first adventure in 3D was way ahead of its time when it was released. Playing as Claude gave Grand Theft Auto a protagonist with a name and a face, making the series more memorable. Later games in the series would not be where they are today if it wasn't for the leap and bounds of Grand Theft Auto 3. To this day, the game is an impressive achievement that shows just how revolutionary it was, with many of its sandbox elements being so refined that most modern open-world games still find it challenging to try and emulate the brilliance that elevated this title to legendary status in the gaming industry. Next, we have GTA 5. Surprisingly, this isn't the best game in the series. This open-world action-adventure game is full to the brim with content and deserves the moniker of being the best game in the series that players can check out. The addition of a first-person mode, along with a wealth of other changes, means that players always have an excuse to replay this title, especially with the single-player campaign being incredible. It's easy to see why this game ended up selling boatloads and continues to be talked about fondly to this day, even if some people are tired of this game's constant re-releases on modern platforms. There's a reason why episodic DLCs didn't cut Grand Theft Auto 5, despite many reports stating that the plan was for Rockstar to pursue this course of action. The rampant success of GTA Online pushed Rockstar to devote all their resources to make this game mode as perfect as possible, with players loving the idea of exploring this massive world with their friends and allowing players to live out a virtual life that is laden with crime. Players can engage in heists, race around, and just kill players without a care in the world if they wish. There's something infinitely enjoyable about this game mode, making it clear why Grand Theft Auto 5 has been released on 3 separate console generations. The online component is that popular and continues to draw in a large number of fans to this day. And finally, the best game in the series is Grand Theft Auto 4. The game is set in Liberty City, a fictional replica of New York City. This time around, players are put in the shoes of Niko Bellic. As an immigrant from Yugoslavia, he sets out to get revenge on 2 men who betrayed him during the war. Grand Theft Auto 4 stands out for its similarities to New York City, an interesting story, and dating missions. Its driving is realistic, instead of arcade-like. The game's grounded story and somber moments make it one of the most tragic stories that Rockstar has ever told, even if the title is full to the brim with the classic whimsy that has made the GTA series so popular to begin with. The engine change prompted Rockstar to focus on a smaller, more intimate urban environment, which ended up working out pretty well for them. There's a reason why many people have criticized Grand Theft Auto 5 for not releasing a single story-focused DLC. After all, fans were spoiled after both The Lost and the Damned and The Ballad of Gay Tony were released for the system to rave reviews. The first episodic DLC lets players control Johnny Kleebitz, a member of the motorcycle group called The Lost MC. The story features many twists and turns and gives players a unique viewpoint of the main story's events from a different lens, with the dynamic of the motorcycle club being pretty engaging in its own right. As is the case with most GTA games, there's enough double-crossing, gang warfare, and drug-fueled shenanigans going on to keep players engaged till the very end. Most players were wowed by the sheer quality on display in The Lost and the Damned. So, players were pleasantly surprised when The Ballad of Gay Tony was released to great pomp and fanfare, showing that Rockstar could make these DLCs even better. Controlling Luis Fernando Lopez and helping his employer navigate through the many issues that he faces makes for a great time. Well, that's it for this video. Do you agree that these are the best games in the GTA franchise? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching.